Greetings and salutations, fellow pilots! In this video, I will be giving you ground pounders a little love by featuring the Soviet ground attack aircraft, the Ilyushin IL-40P, by far my favorite ground attack aircraft. It is equipped with four 23mm cannons, which are, in my opinion, quite excellent. They do 270 damage per second each, with a rate of fire of 600 rounds per minute, which is very good, and an effective firing range of 800 meters. Again, quite good. Of course, it has a rear turret, a 23mm, which does 208 damage per second, with an effective firing range of 1,000 meters. Wow, that's quite quite an effective firing range. Field of fire of 60 degrees, gun elevation of 50 degrees, and gun depression of minus 45 degrees. It is equipped with 8 rockets, each of which do 2,000 damage, and a damage radius of 45 meters. It also has 2 bombs, each of which do 7,000 damage in a damage radius of 90 meters. The bombs are quite excellent. And I would say that these cannons, in addition to being very effective against ground targets, are also quite effective against aerial targets. In flying the IL-40P, I often take down quite a few aircraft. I do have the IL-40P at specialist level. For equipment in the cockpit, I have equipped the stock gyroscopic sight, which increases accuracy of forward-firing offensive armaments by 5% at the cost of minus 3% in pilot's resistance to injuries. I do try to ameliorate that negative for that piece of equipment by having the consumable emergency medical kit, which heals injured crew members and provides resistance to injury for 10 seconds. Your other option would have been cockpit armor, which increases the crew's resistance to injuries, but at the cost of aircraft maneuverability. You know, the cockpit armor in this particular aircraft would be a viable option, since having this aircraft highly maneuverable, that's not going to happen. But nonetheless, I did choose the increased accuracy. That's a personal choice on my part. I think either one of these would be a perfectly fine option. For the airframe, in the first slot, I have equipped stock reinforced skin, which increases the tail's resistance to critical damage by 5%, the wing's resistance to critical damage by 5%, at the cost of minus 1% maximum speed with boost activated, and minus 1% of cruising speed. This is not a particularly fast aircraft, although it does have an excellent boost. We'll go over the amount of time for that in a bit. So I don't think that the loss of speed really hurts us all that much. Your other options would have been lightweight wing frame, which increases aircraft maneuverability at the cost of aircraft hit points. Again, having this aircraft highly maneuverable is not all that important. Also polished skin, which increases the aircraft speed, again at the cost of aircraft maneuverability, which, you know, I don't think we need that much more speed in this aircraft. I'd rather have the higher resistance to damage. Because this is a specialist aircraft, we do have a second slot. And in that slot, I have equipped Advanced Reinforced Airframe, which increases by 10% tolerance to damage from AA guns. Very important when you're ground attack aircraft. 10% increase in aircraft's hit points, 10% increase in tail's resistance to critical damage, and at the cost of 8.8% roll maneuverability. Hey, who cares about roll maneuverability in this aircraft, right? So that is just a win-win-win there, and we're just really making this aircraft quite tanky, I think. Your other options would have been lightweight wing frame, increasing aircraft maneuverability at the cost of hit points. This is a ground attack aircraft, so we need hit points. We don't choose that. Polished skin, which increases aircraft speed at the cost of aircraft maneuverability. Again, I'd rather have the tankiness of reinforced airframe. For our forward-firing weapon, I chose the stock long gun barrel, which increases by 4% firing range of forward-firing offensive armament at the cost of 3% burst length of forward-firing offensive armaments. I really like to start hitting the targets as soon as possible, so that's why I went with that. Your other options would have been reinforced bolt carriers, which increases burst length but at the cost of accuracy. I'd rather have the accuracy. Or gas-operated action, which increases the rate of fire at the cost of firing accuracy. Again, I don't really want to lose accuracy with this aircraft. For our outboard weapon, we went with an advanced strengthened hardpoints, which increases by 11% rocket reload speed, by 11% bomb reload speed, by 5% rocket accuracy, and by 5% bomb accuracy, at the cost of minus 4.2% maximum speed with boost activated and minus 4.2% cruise speed. You know, while speed is not irrelevant in this aircraft, because you do have to get, as quickly as you can from one capture point to the other, it's not more important than the other benefits that we get from this particular piece of equipment. Your other options would have been bomb sight, which increases bombing accuracy at the cost of bomb reload speed. I really want those bombs back up again as soon as possible, so I didn't go with that. Or rocket sight, which increases the range of rockets but at the cost of rocket reload speed. Again, I want those rockets to repopulate as soon as possible. For our other consumables we haven't already discussed, I chose emergency engine restart. We are a low-flying aircraft, so if our engine goes out, that could be deadly. We won't have time to recover since we're so close to the ground. The other options would have been emergency engine cooling, not very important with this aircraft, or anti-oxidizing additive, which increases engine thrust. Again, we're not a fighter, so we really don't need those. For our weapons consumables, we went with stock ammunition for both our forward firing and our defensive turret. For our outboard weapon, we went with heavy warhead, which increases maximum damage caused by bombs and rockets. That's recommended for attack aircraft. Your other options would have been improved explosive, which increases the maximum radius of blast damage. I do think that's a viable option. It is nice to have extra blast radius, but that's more recommended for bombers, so I didn't go with that. Improved fragmentation, which increases damage caused by bombs and rockets. Could also go with that, but again, I chose the heavy warhead. In terms of pilot skills, we have Marina Litviakova, who is a specialist pilot. Her special skills are Supernova, which increases the damage caused by bombs and rockets and their blast radius by 15%. If the aircraft is destroyed by a collision with terrain or a ground target, the aircraft explodes and deals damage in the affected area equal to double the maximum number of hit points of this aircraft. So that's a perfect skill for a ground attack aircraft. She's well suited. Also, she has Femme Fatale, which sets a ground target on fire as a result of continuous shooting with forward-firing weapons and hitting unarmored sections of the ground target. So that's a really super important skill, because once you can get a fire started on a particular ground section, you can just forget it. It's gonna go down from the fire, and you can move on to other targets. Also chose Protection Expert, which increases the positive effect of the mounted equipment on aircraft durability and resistance to critical damage by 40%. So again, we're just making this aircraft more tanky. And I also went with our last skill, Fire Resistance, because your aircraft does tend to catch on fire. So it's nice to have that reduced damage. For our rear gunner, I went with first Armorer, which increases the burst length of a turret by 20%. Ballistics Expert, which increases the range of fire of a turret by 20%. Really nice to have that extra range of fire. Remember, it was 1,000 meters, which is excellent. I mean, you're shooting at many targets before they even get in range to shoot at you. That's really nice to have. And finally, Precision Gunner. The gunner concentrates fire on the most vulnerable sections of an aircraft. The chance of causing critical damage by guns is significantly increased. That's an excellent skill, and it really makes somebody's who's behind you makes their day bad. I know I've been in that position before. All right, in terms of the aircraft statistics, let's get this all expanded here for you. Altitude performance. It is, of course, a low altitude aircraft, so its maximum optimal altitude is 800 meters. Service ceiling is 1,800 meters. Rate of climb 66 degrees. This aircraft stalls really easily, hence the stall speed of 140 kilometers per hour. Average time to turn 360 degrees, 19.6 seconds. So yeah, not a maneuverable aircraft. Rate of roll, forget it. You're not going to be doing any rolling in this aircraft. Maximum optimal speed is 504 kilometers per hour. Boost duration, 30 seconds. That is excellent. Very good. In terms of bombs, cumulative damage is 18,900 damage for all the bombs and rockets added up together, their damage. Very powerful ground attack aircraft. Forward firing offensive weapons, cumulative damage 1,080 damage per second. Optimal distance is 832 meters. And I think that extra 32 meters is probably from our long gun barrels. In terms of paint schemes, this is summer you're currently looking at. Winter, desert, and marine. Tail gunner sits here and controls the tail gun at this point. Okay, so let's head into a battle and see how my build performs. Alright, so we will be bringing destruction to the ground in our IL-40P attack aircraft over the road to Rome Call of Duty theater of operation. We will head first to this garrison here and then on to their other garrison.
You are approaching the front line. Off we go.
And here we go. All right. Drop a bomb here. And we'll hit this little compound here. Alright. Now we'll head over here, take the long way, and try to wrestle this garrison away from the enemy team.
Stay alert, pilots. Large enemy force spotted over the airfield.
What was that? Boom! So we didn't take everything out though. We'll come back around here. Yeah, we got something on our tail. I think if we just take out the rest of that anti-aircraft emplacement there, we should be able to secure this garrison. There, oh no, not quite. One more building there and then we have it. That should do it. There we go. And wow, looks like we have everything except this garrison over here. So we'll head over there and see if we can't get it. Why not, right? Let's bring some pain. Wanna play? Our Gunnar's pretty enhanced, so, you know, they really want to have some fun with us. Good luck. Gonna bring some pain. Alright, looks like we've got a plane there moving behind us. Though he doesn't seem to be following up. Shooting at us here. Let's see if we can drop a bomb here. Really take it on the chin here. See if we can take this little compound out here. just maybe need one more something. See if we can swing back around here.
Hang in there. You'll soon be cut off from support.
Yeah, couldn't quite get to it.
Support will not be available. Victory is in sight. Keep it up.
Don't have much left to take this one out over here. We have a bomb now. See if we can take them out with a bomb.
That's it. There's no way to break this view now. You're on your own. We have complete control of the skies. Way to go.
Well, did the best we could there.
I'm proud of you, pilots. Head back home.
Okay, so let's see what we have here. Lang medal awarded for destroying at least 15 enemy ground targets. Flying revenge badge. What's that for? Effective destruction of infrastructure. #1 on spot on the team. 4 chevrons on the grade rank. Subjugator and effective fire. Head back to the hangar here. Take a look at the after action report. Well, folks, I don't think there was much more we could have done there. That went pretty well. Okay, so let's see, effective fire, avalanche, and subjugator. 142,344 in currency, 7,024 in experience points, 351 in free experience points, and a token. And of course, victory. Just shy of 90,000 in damage to ground targets, destroyed 19 ground targets, destroyed 102 sections of ground targets, captured 3 sectors, so, and not destroyed even once, so pretty good result there. Over 12,000 in combat points. I don't think we could have really done any better there. Or at least I couldn't have done any better. Maybe you guys could have, I don't know. But alright folks, that is the IL-40P at specialist level. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you get an opportunity to fly the IL-40P and get it up to specialist, I hope you have great success.